How would you like to improve your health and keep your family safe? You're listening to the Healthy Home Hacks Podcast, where we firmly believe enjoying optimal health shouldn't be a luxury. Healthy Home Authorities and husband and wife team Ron and Lisa will help you create a home environment that will level up your health. It's time to hear from the experts. Listen in on honest conversations and gain the best tips and advice. If you're ready to dive in and improve your well-being and increase your energy, you're in the right place. All right, here are your hosts, bowel biologists, authors, media darlings, vicarious vegans, and avocado aficionados, Ron and Lisa Barris.
This episode of Healthy Home Hacks is brought to you by Airs Tech. Are you worried about electromagnetic fields in your environment? Do you want to rest easier knowing that you're protecting yourself and your family from dangerous radiation emitted from wireless devices in and around your home and office? Try LifeTune products made by Airs Tech. Peer-reviewed and backed by science, Airs Tech patented EMF modulation technology keeps you connected without the negative biological effects. Equip your phone, laptop, home, and even your pet with their easy-to-use solutions. Coexist with technology and visit Airs Tech, that's AIRES Tech.com to learn more and use code RL30OFF, that's RL30OFF, to save 30% of your entire purchase.
It is never too late to reshape an area of your life that is no longer serving you. Landry. What does it take to win the coveted Miss USA title or land the Doritos commercial, still to this day the most memorable Super Bowl commercial of all time? Our guest today, Landry, leaves an impression wherever she goes. Born in Louisiana, this Southern belle was touted as one of people's most beautiful. But Allie isn't just another pretty face. This gal's got the talent and brains that have led her to acclaim as an actress, television host, and brand ambassador.
But Allie's journey wasn't all glitz, glamour, and salty snacks. No. In fact, after turning 40, Allie started experiencing numerous health issues that reads more like a list of side effects from a pharmaceutical commercial. She had chronic fatigue, brain fog, poor sleep, thinning hair, fine lines, digestive issues, low sex drive, bouts of depression, and overall, just feeling off. So Allie decided to take back her health and get to the bottom of her health woes. Heeding the words of Maya Angelou, do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. Allie let her pain become her path.
That's right. In fact, the journey to finding the root causes of her health challenges became the inspiration of her Reshape lifestyle platform focused on overall health and wellness, beauty, and fitness. Allie is committed to researching and curating the very best resources, products, and services, along with sharing her personal network of the most trusted specialists with women around the world. Welcome to the show, Allie.
Welcome, Allie. We are so thrilled to have you with us today.
Woo! You guys, that was such a nice intro. Oh my gosh, you did so much work and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
We wanted to go longer, but we realized that would be the whole show, right? Because you have so many great
Your
things that
bio
you've
would
done.
be the whole show.
And you're funny to boot. So oh, good.
But Allie, we are so thrilled to have you with us today. I know our listeners cannot wait to hear from you. So I want to dive right in and get to the nitty gritty of everything you have to share and teach our listeners. Tell us a little more about your background and how you became Miss USA and landed the coveted Doritos Super Bowl commercial.
I mean, that's just a crazy story. I think I was in college in Southwest Louisiana. And again, like I was thinking about my future and I was in broadcast journalism. So thinking I was going to be a news anchor. But I knew that I'd probably have to pay my dues, and that entailed bringing someone coffee, and that just did not sit well with me. I was like, I can't do that. I begged my mom. I really think I should compete for Miss Louisiana because if I win, I'd already had in my head, if I win, then I get to travel around the state and I could secure a really great job. And in my mind, I was just about skipping a few steps on the job ladder. I ended up going to Miss Louisiana. I won. I did just that. I secured a job, not what I really wanted to do, but anyway, it was in PR and that was exciting.
No coffee involved. No coffee delivery.
No coffee involved, little travel, which was fun for me. And then you have to go on to compete for Miss USA. And I did. And I ended up winning. But that was really my first. I was doing some practices that I don't think I was really even aware what I was doing. I was using like visualization. Like, I really think that's how I want mindset was like mindset practice. And I was 19 years old.
Holy
Looking
moly.
back, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool that you had that perspective and that I was doing those things like way back then.
But did you innately do that? Or were you an avid reader of motivational books and kind of put vision boards together? How did you even know to do that at 19?
I think both. I love Dale Carnegie, growing up, and Tony Robbins. And I always did. I'm a student of life and I am a sharer of information and I ask a lot of questions. I probably pulled from all of that, but knew that that's what I needed to do to get to the end of that kind of competition. Because I honestly thought that it would really be the mindset that with the person.
Wow, that is so interesting. I've read, your Wikipedia page and researched you, and that I didn't know that. And I just find that so fascinating because it's kind of like now we're in this spiritual evolution of consciousness where people are starting to realize like our thoughts create our reality and energy and everything. But wow, at 19 that you knew that, that's incredible. You were really ahead of the game, especially in pageants where it's so competitive and very easy to get insecure, right? And acting, that whole world that you've been in it breeds like insecurity. No matter how pretty someone is or talented, you never feel good enough.
Yeah. By pageant standard, competition standard, I was definitely maybe an underdog a little bit. I didn't have the fanciest dress. I didn't have a team of people telling me how to do hair, makeup, how to answer a question. I wasn't probably as poised. I wasn't like born and bred to do this, right?
Right.
I was in that situation before. I wanted a job and I just knew that I was going to find a way to skip a few steps in that job ladder. That was like my whole goal, I think, like going into it. But a lot of girls, the insecurity level was definitely there.
Yeah. You didn't have a glam squad.
I know. And then I look at my pictures or the video from back then and I was like, gosh, I wish I would.
I doubt that. I highly doubt that.
Oh, the 90s hair, with the bangs that are like up in the air and they swoop down. It was a little like that.
Aquanet.
But,
It's funny.
Oh, it was not moving.
Well, I think you'd appreciate this. I recently read this quote. If you think the pursuit of good health is expensive and time consuming, try illness. From Lee Swanson. And Allie, I know you agree with that. So you also believe in aging backwards and that 40 is the new 20. I do too.
Me too. Yeah.
We all believe that, right? That means making yourself a priority. Can you elaborate on how exactly our listeners can do this?
I think making yourself a priority, that was what sort of stuck with me first. My mom, she had her own business, but yet she was always there for us and always running us around and cooking dinner. And we always had an activity. And, she's just a busy person. Not only does she take care of our family, but honestly, she takes care of everyone in her family, plus all of her friends, and can lay a wood floor, spackle a wall, do a garment. Like, she could really do it all. And I even remember where we were. We were driving in the car and she just said, if you don't take care of yourself, nobody will.
Ooh.
And I was like, wow, you're telling this to like a 15-year-old?
Yeah, right.
And I was like thinking like, Mom, I don't see you really taking care of yourself. But I don't know, just that little nugget that landed on me at 15, I've carried that with me throughout my life because I know so many women carry that guilt when you do anything for yourself, because you always think there's a million other things that you could be doing. You hold on to that. That really gave me the permission to kind of lead with that, like moving forward in my life, knowing that I needed to put my face mask on first, And I always say, we wake up in the morning and we want to be the best for our spouse, for our partner, for our children, for our business, but something or someone will always fall short. I don't care what, it's always going to fall short. And you got to give yourself grace around that. And, think of it like, what? Tomorrow's a new day and I'm going to get back at it tomorrow, but not to carry that guilt. It's so detrimental.
I have a question. When you plan your day, I know you do a lot. You have a lot on your plate and you've actually had even a lot of conversations prior to this interview today, right? So do you have goals in mind where like, I'm going to accomplish these 1, 2, or 3 goals and that's going to be good enough because I'm good enough. Does that make sense? Or each day, like, or do you put everything on your plate and then you judge at the end of the day and I accomplished 9 out of those 10 and I'm mad?
No, I wake up every single day. And look, one of the titles I'll tell you right now, because I have a book that'll be coming out next year. But one of the titles that we're toying around with is You're Worth It. Right?
Oh,
like
I
so
like
many
that.
women don't feel like you're not worthy. I just want to, like, I see you, like you are so worth it. So I wake up in the morning with that sort of mindset. I have certain systems in place around waking up. My morning routine and my evening routine, I do things right before the kids get home from school. Like most people, I get anxiety. I'm a little bit of a type A. I want everything perfect. And again, like my desk is a mess and there's a million things going on. I just launched a new business outside of Reshape. It's just like a lot, So with these systems in place, honestly, at least I'm finishing like that one chunk. So in the morning, first thing I do when I wake up is I chug a liter of water because I do have digestion issues and I need to kickstart my digestion. So I start with that.
Me too.
Like
Shout out to the people with digestion issues.
Well, like major, but I have one that's just changed my life. Start with a liter of water before my feet hit the ground. And also, 4 or 5 things that I'm grateful for, like in that moment in the morning.
Attitude of gratitude
Changes everything. I got to start with that first. Then I wake up, I get the kids all ready. And as soon as they go, I try to do daily like meditation. So the way I set myself up for success with that is I have 2 areas actually in my house. I mean, honestly, people are like, I don't have space. It's a corner. It is a corner. I'm looking at the one in my bedroom right now. Literally, it's on the floor in a corner. And what I have is I have a candle. I have an inspirational book. I have a journal. I have like some Palo Santo. Normally I'm sitting there with I have like a meditation playlist. So if I can do that and empty out like, the to-do list and the clutter and everything that's going on in my brain and picking up the kids at what time and what are we going to cook, if I can empty myself out and then fill it back up with positivity, positive reinforcement, whatever beautiful thing I'm going to read from that book that I have, or what kind of quotes are going to really land on my heart today. Then I go into my day. I'll work out. And after I work out, I jump immediately into work.
That sounds like a perfect morning. Is there a green juice involved?
Okay, so let's do the digestion routine. It is the 1 liter of water first thing, like as soon as you wake up. Then I go downstairs. I follow it with another like 8 to 12 ounces of warm lemon water. And then I do at least 8 to 10 of a green juice, whether it's a powder, like a dehydrated green juice, or something that I'm doing with the kids the day before or something, or sometimes it's just a store-bought organic one. And that specific routine, I call it my get things going in the morning routine.
Oh, I'm going to steal it.
It really does.
Yeah.
Steal it.
I'm going to steal it, guys. We have to name it, Allie.
Get things going in the morning.
Okay, I love it. Get all things going. On your first liter, is it room temperature? Do you adhere to the room temperature?
Because what I do, I'm all about, like I said, you set yourself up for success. So the night before, I bring 2 bottles. I don't know about you, but I sip, throughout the night if I get thirsty. So I bring 2 bottles. So I have that 1 bottle that I just kind of sip from, and I have the second bottle ready for the morning. So I just don't touch the one that I sip in. And I was doing it wrong. I just got off the phone with my nutritionist. I did a live with her, and she did a video of her in bed with her baby, like her hair is a mess. And she grabbed her bottle and just like laid in bed before the feet touched the ground and just chugged it. And I was like, that's what you meant by first thing in the morning. I was like, I was just lollygagging.
Oh, that's crazy.
And then I go downstairs and have those other 3 things. And then I'll do the coffee like later.
Oh yeah. I was going to say there's got to be coffee in there somewhere, right?
Oh, there's coffee in there.
There's coffee. Okay.
Very hydrated.
And one other thing I want to share. I mean, I do have a nighttime routine and different things I do during the day, but I found myself because I'm alone during the day most of the time in the office or running errands. And, I'm in my peaceful place. I'm in my little Zen office space, getting things accomplished. And as soon as the kids walk in the door, it's like
chaos.
And it's just, it's chaos. And it takes me out of my zone. And I was starting to get like really resentful and a little upset about that. So I was like, I've got to put a system into place like right before they get home from school. So I can then like bring my vibration down. So what if they raise it? Like we're at a good level, you know?
Oh, I get it. Balancing that. Yeah.
Yeah, balancing out. So I take like, some ashwagandha or something like that. I'll have a tea like right before they come in. And then on my Pinterest page, I pinned all of these beautiful quotes about being a mother and like what a child means, like I just some really beautiful inspirational things. And I read those before they walk in the door. I am a much better mom if I
Dang,
do
that's
that.
some good advice, parents out there listening. That's some really good advice. You're right, because energy, you probably familiar with the chart of consciousness. David Hawkins, I think is his name that created that. The lowest, when you were talking about your mom saying, take care of yourself, the lowest energy that you can possibly feel is guilt. Guilt and shame. I think those are the two bottoms. So it's like guilt, shame, and then it goes up to like despair. And
Probably. Yeah.
what is that? Fear. Yeah. We have so much of that in the world right now. So getting yourself to, we're big believers in that. And, Jerry and Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks, we've listened to a lot of that. And their big thing is just try to get yourself up a notch. You're not going to go from despair to joy in an instant. That's not how it works. But, trying to get yourself up this Richter scale one step at a time. And that is being gentle on yourself and saying, hey, if I made myself feel better, now I'm not in that really low energy. And now I'm going to be better able to, handle things and accomplish things and then gradually get up. So, but, I actually dipped my toes in pageants as well in my teens and 20s, not to your success, Allie.
Miss Photogenic of Arizona, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she is.
Oh my God. So embarrassing.
Congratulations.
Okay, not like Allie. I know firsthand that industry can feel intimidated, judgmental, like we talked about. Can you explain to our listeners your view on how real beauty stems from the inside and what that looks like for you? I know you have a daughter, so this is probably a big thing that you're instilling in her as well.
I mean, honestly, I just feel like this quote that I always sort of read, like, prettiest girls are the happiest, right? And I feel like it's so important for all of us as individuals and whatever journey you're on, and I do apply it a lot to if you're wanting to reshape something in your life. But when you do that interior work, when you go a little bit deeper, figure out what makes you tick, what's your joys, what makes you sad, what do you want to change? Just really spend time with yourself and get to know yourself and really try to find that internal peace. I feel like you're just happier. I feel like when I do that, I can stay in my lane with blinders on and honestly celebrate everybody, lift people up, celebrate others. But the only way you're able to do that is honestly if you are peaceful within your soul, and with who you are. It took me, I had some forced reshapes and health, but that really got me to that place. And I don't know if I would have done the work otherwise, but I have to say, like, those things, I'm so grateful for them. I'm so much better. I mean, I feel like as horrible as some of them were, they were definitely a blessing. And only because it forced me to do that work. So I feel like I walk through the world in a very different way. I own my choices. I'm able to give myself grace.
Like when these things happened, you didn't play the victim card. You didn't feel like they were happening to you. Rather, the energy is
for me.
For you. Yeah, for you.
For the first one to say, it was around like heartbreak and betrayal, right? So I was young. I was maybe in my 30s. It took about a month to kind of push through and, like, I call it flip the switch on the mindset, because I was trying to understand why I was betrayed in that kind of way. I was really sad. It was just like all those things. Like, that person wasn't even sorry. So how am I supposed to move on? Like, how am I supposed to forgive someone who doesn't even care about being forgiven? Like, how am I supposed to pick up and move forward in a positive way? But I was able to do it. I mean, I'm not kidding you. During that time, I probably had a stack like this high on the side of my bed of all these books that I would pull from. And one of them was The Purpose Driven Life. And I was, reading the passages and I was journaling in it. And I then made a choice, like, instead of looking at this, like, why did this happen to me? How could he have done that? I kind of thought, you know what? This is a new opportunity for me to actually get it right this time. And I deserve more and better. And you know what? I'm going to own that I chose wrong. And I'm going to own that I, maybe kind of heard things or saw things. It just kind of,
I was going to say, did you think you ignored red flags or?
oh, yeah, I know I did. That situation, I absolutely 100% can say that was transformative for me as a human being. I think that at the time it was like the worst thing that had happened to me. But looking back on it, I think that it was the biggest gift. I chose to walk through my life. I said, like, without the blinders on, very aware and owning each choice. So that was amazing. And then the other thing was around tragedy.
I was going to say tap into your internal power, right? Because I think, do you believe people sense that, like your internal confidence and your internal power, that you kind of project that out? And like maybe through that experience, you gain this like confidence that like, don't mess with me. I'm not a pushover.
I don't even think it was that, honestly. I don't think it was like, I am woman, hear me roar. It was more of like a quiet, I felt very secure in who I am. Because I did the work, I was very clear. I was journaling especially in a relationship. I was just so worried, like, am I going to choose wrong again? Every single day I would write in my journal, someone to hold my heart in his hands, like all these different things. So when it came into my life and it was not that, it was very clear.
Oh, I love that.
Very
wow.
clear.
Oh, that's
You're a very good manifester.
I know. You have so many incredible, what is the word? Like, not processes, but
I guess processes or whatever that you put into place. It was just that instinctual thing that I knew that that's what I needed to do. And my mom was always like, you should be angry. And I just, that was
that's funny.
Southern mama.
Southern mama coming out.
I couldn't go there. Like, I was not going to go there. I was going to do the work on myself because I did not want to make that mistake again. And I really wanted to grow from it. And I always knew, even in that moment, my biggest prayer was like, if I have an opportunity to share what I went through and how I got through it, I want to be able to share that honestly, openly, authentically with other women, to help them get through what they're going through.
That's fantastic. I love that. My friend is a dating coach and she's probably listening. I see the comments on her Instagram and people are like, I got burned before, all women suck or men are all cheaters or whatever. And they will kind of coin. And it's really unfortunate, but what you're saying is like, you got to put the work in and you don't want to hold on to that bitterness, right? Because the bitterness will just attract that again too, right?
And honestly, I didn't understand what forgiveness meant. That was a big learning lesson for me. I knew that I needed to forgive, but every time I was like, oh my God, like really? Like, why would I forgive him? Like, I didn't understand, but I knew that I was only hurting myself. It was the gift that I needed to give myself to forgive. And it took a while for that to land on me and to have that aha moment and like, oh my gosh, I totally get it. So biggest gift, biggest blessing.
Love it. And now you're happily married with 2 kids, right?
3.
Oh my goodness. You are a super mama. And you've been married for how long?
Our anniversary is this week. And last year it was so funny. Honestly, I think it's 16 years. But last year we said we were just like, happy anniversary, year 14, and his brother's like, we got engaged at your wedding. You're not married you're married like for 15 years.
That's so funny. That's cute. You guys
funny.
are both that way. So no one can get mad at each other for forgetting it. We're kind of like that too, Ron, aren't we? I'm like,
yeah. We're getting confused a couple of years too, for sure. Yeah. So
as long as you celebrate it.
Yeah, there you go.
We're gonna still we know the date, so that's a good thing.
That's important.
It's a plus.
Hey, Ellie, we didn't want to cut you off. You mentioned also lost or grievance. Was there something, a thought there you wanted to mention?
Well, I was just saying we all have things that happen to us in our life. Something will happen to all of us, right? That will shake us to our core. I just had 2 things that were back to back that were pretty difficult. So it was that, and then my father-in-law and my brother-in-law were kidnapped and were murdered in Mexico.
I'm sorry about that.
Wow. So sorry. Oh my God. I can't even imagine.
No, you cannot imagine. You can't. You just can't wrap your head around that. And my husband and I really got through that together. But that was a tough one because you just really don't understand like why both of them, my father-in-law was the most beautiful man. Like, honestly, we thought that they were going to give him back because they were going to fall in love with him. Like, he was that guy. It was a really tough healing journey for us. But again, it's been a beautiful experience as well. It's taught us, that life is short, which we know, but when you're hit with that, it's like, that is a reality. Life is very short and you need to live it to its fullest. You need to try to be as present in the moment as you can. And we really take that to heart. Like, we honestly make big life decisions because of that won't make sense to many people. And maybe it's not the smartest thing financially, but we do it because of that, because we know that life is really short and we feel their hand in our lives, so much. Like, if you've lost, sometimes you feel their presence more than when they were on this earth, right? Such a disappointment in, not even disappointment, it's just humanity, like, you just don't think like people are that evil, like something like that could happen. And also like our security. My husband's from Mexico. We live here in Los Angeles, and how we took that for granted, like just actually feeling fine walking to our mailbox, the time when things are a little bad there, just like going to the grocery store, like, is there a grenade that's going to go off? But when you're at the grocery store, or what the people are Ukraine are experiencing, like, it just really makes you think about life and how you walk through it in a very, very different way.
Thank you for sharing that.
I'm sure they're very proud of you and continue to be proud of you beyond, and they're protecting you. So
Thank
sorry you went through that, but yeah.
Wow. And you're right, Allie. Anytime you have a little, Oprah used to say, you get the whisper. And if you ignore the whisper, and then you get the bonk on the head. And we've all been there. We've heeded the whispers and we've also ignored the whispers. And I just had a whisper. I literally just tripped down our stairs last weekend in my high heels, holding my brother-in-law's coffee in one hand and my purse in the other, which was really dumb. And I tripped down nice, no big deal, banged my knees and shins. I said to Ron, oh my God, like, how stupid of me. Of course that was going to happen. Like, slippery heels going down a thing, little minor whisper to, don't take that for granted. Hold that rail. It's there for a reason. Life, your toe. Someone we know just broke her toe, and you can't walk when you break your toe. Little in it. Oh, all of a sudden you're appreciating the simple art of walking, something you just take for granted. Of course, loss is very difficult. You sound like you have such a graceful approach to handling that. Ron and I have had some major loss in the last couple of years in our family too. So it's nice to, hear how you're dealing with that. We see that too. We feel very connected, messages, songs, numerology, numbers, all kinds of, really incredible ways that, they're communicating with you. It's like not even a question, because it's things that they would only know and you would know, and you feel their presence. And so that's the beauty in it, as we know they're there and they're in a good place. And that's not fun for anybody to go through.
Well said, Lisa. Switching gears a little bit here. So Allie, we see so many fads these days when it comes to the quest for youth, right? Mm-hmm. Flawless skin, achieving the perfect physique and weight. What do you say to women who are struggling with their skin, that feel less than, especially in the age of social media, where we're continually comparing our behind the scenes to someone else's like highlight reel every day?
Wow. I mean, that's a good one.
I wrote that question. Ron's not on Instagram looking at highlights.
No, all those things are there. It's like you do the best you can for yourself. And not everybody has all of those issues. And it goes back to like what we were talking about. And this is a perfect example of doing that interior work, really. Like thinking about whether it's your skin or your weight or whatever, doing that interior work. So when things come at you in life, you are able to really deflect and you never let it hit you. Like that image of, the perfect body on Instagram. Instead of thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm so this, you think like, you know what? I'm going to get moving a little bit more and I'm going to start my journey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just really that, I just call it like flipping the switch on your mindset. Like flip that switch on your mindset. Or like your girlfriend just got a brand new fabulous house or whatever. And instead of being like, oh my gosh, but she would have never, like, you know what?
It's not that big.
Exactly. Which to how you, right? So like celebrating her, like do you stay in your lane? I just feel like you can't worry about what the other person is doing. You just have to be the best person that you can be and do the work on yourself. And just doing that, again, it goes back to taking care of yourself. You feel good when you do it for yourself. You feel like you're giving yourself a gift. There's sometimes, I am pretty on top of it all. I'm on the board of a medical spa. So like I get to do a lot of the fun treatments and be the guinea pig and all that is great. But at the end of the day, I do have to say, I do get into lulls of depression. I do. It's just what happens. But even the simple act for me as going in my bathroom and literally just putting lotion on my legs it just lights a little bitty, makes my little flicker of a flame just get a little bit higher.
Yeah.
That little thing of like self-care, just like, okay, I got you. Like I'm taking care of you.
Take a little time. I love that. Yeah. So even you, Allie, get, intimidated by people's pictures. Because I'm sure people have said to you, oh, well, it's easy for you. You're beautiful and you don't have like issues.
I don't get intimidated by people's pictures. I don't. I have that mindset, like I told you, like I can look at them and like, oh my gosh, like Khloe Kardashian's body is banging. Like, how did she do that? Get her waist that small? I need to talk to like a trainer or something and like I just immediately go into like, well, let me get to it then. I never do that. I never go there.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really important takeaway for listeners, because I think it was Abraham Hicks, going back to them again, where they said, when you see something in others that you want, rockets of desire should shoot out and do shoot out, right? They're shooting out, and it's how you process that, right? Are you doing the Allie approach and saying, hey, I want that. And, I'm going to celebrate that person. And thankfully, they showed me that that's possible. And now that's possible for me. And I think surround yourself too, right? With people who are giving you that. Let's be honest. We've all been around people who aren't working on themselves and who don't do that. What do you say about that if you have people around you who are kind of like,
oh my God,
get a new
I
circle?
love you. And I love that you say that, because that's another thing that I've been doing since, I guess college. Sounds harsh, but like I cannot tolerate gossip at all. Like there is no place for it in my life. I really make an effort to surround myself with people, and I feel like sunshine. I feel like sunshine. That when I'm in their light, I'm just like,
I love that.
Who see my superpowers, right? I always like to recognize like the superpower. I like to own my own. Like I know what my superpower is, but people who see me, like I get you. I see, those are the people I'm going to surround myself with always. So negativity in your life, people that are going to bring you down, like I just think there's no space for it. There's no space for it.
Yeah, you got to just kind of cut those cords and love yourself enough. Love yourself enough to be able to do that. Going back to what you said at the very beginning, because we're, especially as women, raised to not do the self-care or feel guilty when we're standing up for ourselves or feel guilty setting those boundaries, right? And we need to celebrate and like embrace that and understand that it's okay. And like you said, and even in those moments of maybe where you have to cut off a negative relationship, you can still forgive. You can still send them love, right?
Yeah. You're not mean and ugly. You're being kind and generous and all of that. But it's just, you know what? Like I am worthy.
I am worthy. I
can't have you in my space because it doesn't sit well with me. It's just not working for me in my life. So, and I'm worth it.
And I'm worth it. What's that commercial? You're worth it. So I was shocked when I discovered that 70 to 80% of our immune cells reside in our gut. We've done a few shows on the utter importance of gut health. And I have personally, as I said at the top, struggled with digestion issues, also like you, and it's no fun. And according to the National Institutes for Health, 60 to 70 million people are affected by all digestive diseases. So Allie, give our listeners some tips and tricks. And why is digestion important in terms of keeping our bodies looking and feeling young?
I mean, I am still going through that journey myself and, asking the questions and figuring it out. But they say that the gut is the other brain, right?
Yeah.
And truly everything stems from it. So, I do things like probiotics, prebiotics. I do that. I do food combining.
Well, you don't miss a beat.
I know. Is there anything you don't do well?
My digestion. No, look, I fall off the wagon daily, but you know what? I get back on.
Get back on. That's the key.
Do you do this every day too, 7 days a week, or is it like Monday through Friday?
This is my weeks, but I'll tell you, like we're all a work in progress. During the day, my day is great. I am like on it, right? My food game, my morning routine, my workout, I'm good. As soon as the kids go to bed, I'll be honest, I literally just want to sit in bed, watch Netflix and eat like some kind of chip or something.
Doritos.
Like exactly. That's what I want. That's my thing. That's what I'm working on. Now I'm just trying to just do the little dark piece of chocolate and call it a day. The struggle is real for all of us.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it's all different for us. Yeah, exactly.
Going back to that, there's so many, I'm sure the person that you spoke to, there's the different testing that you could do, like getting your blood panel. I just think that if you are like what you said, most diseases, the root cause is the gut. I feel like we just have to really be diligent about our own health and go down that path. And don't just pass things off, like ask the questions. Don't pass things off like I'm aging, or of course this is why I'm feeling this way, or that's normal, or whatever. It's not normal.
It's not normal.
Like you don't have to feel that way. You deserve better. And there are answers out there. Like don't give up on yourself. So that's sort of been, my process. And sometimes it takes me, it's not like it happens overnight. Like right now, I really want to tackle why we as women in our 40s are losing hair. Like why? My mom's a hairstylist. I was at the house and she's like, Allie, your part is getting wider. And I was like, oh.
The comments only family can
We
give.
certainly did notice that.
The moments of family that we love so much.
Tell me that, Mom. That's just something that I'm going to dig into, like the follicle health and like all of that. But those kind of things could take me a year and then, whatever. It's all a journey.
It's a journey.
Really a journey. And that's why I love that term, a student of life. We all need to be that,
Yeah.
We need to be that student of life.
And
right?
just when you think you got it figured out, you'll get that bonk that we talked about. Universe will be like, not so fast.
Yeah. And you know what I've realized, like you have, and this is why you have this show, is that it's not everybody's thing, right? People have other passions and joys or whatever. I like this stuff. Like I never knew that I could experience this next level of health. And then because I'm a sharer by nature, you just want to share it with the world, right? Because not everybody knows about this, that, and the other. Same thing with what you're doing, like you really understand this niche and your friends are like, just tell me what to do. Because I don't know, just tell me what I need to do.
They're overwhelmed and they're busy and they don't have time to do all the research, right? And it is overwhelmed. Like you said, your day is very, very busy. You're a working full-time mom and 3 kids. And I already know you've got to be like busy from morning till night. But I love how you said, don't settle for the status quo. It's something that I see and it really, when you see very, very overweight people, like my friend and I were having this conversation the other day, it's not about being overweight. It's about your health. It's about that. She's a doctor actually. And she was telling me like, it's not the overweight thing and the very, very, very large distended guts that we are so used to in, today's modern age with the Western diet and all of that. It's the health implications that come with that, right? And the losing of the energy because your body has to work so hard, so much harder to carry that weight around and stuff. And this isn't just about weight, of course, but that's a big issue because weight equates to too much weight equates to, we're going to go down a road of potential diseases and problems and stress on your system. So thinking that I'm going to get a disease or everybody gets cancer or everybody gets overweight when they get older, women, get that weight gain around their middle. Like we have to change those and say, no, it doesn't have to be the norm. But like you said, we have to ask the questions and dig deeper and be committed, right? Be committed to the journey of finding the answers that work for us and finding those solutions.
I mean, that's how Reshape started. That's how it started. I mean, I was on the daily talk show, live, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, a high pressure situation. And, I had major brain fog. Like I was thinking one thing, it was not coming out my mouth the way I wanted it to come out. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose this job. I felt so off, but not, like we were saying, not off enough to go to the doctor. I asked my girlfriends about all those issues that you brought up in the beginning. And they were like, oh yeah, that's what happens when we age. We are getting older.
Yeah, don't accept that. Well, Allie, they say if you don't use it, you lose it. And as we discussed earlier, we see a lot of people as they age, they get very complacent. And we know fitness is essential to good health, but can you give our listeners some tips to get moving when they rather, like you mentioned earlier in the evening, binge on Netflix and snack on, let's say, salty chips that might be Doritos?
You know what? I've just taken a different approach to exercise, I think, in the past few years, mostly because of pain. Like I have had chronic pain issues in the neck and shoulders stemming from an accident for over 20 years. And now I'm really in a good place. But exercise, especially different parts of my body, really had to take a back seat. Not completely, but I just didn't have full mobility. So I was forced to find other things, right? And it became about just moving. You just need to move. Like you said, we're all busy, but I can walk the dog. I can go take a little hike, up the mountain. the kids want to ride their bike in the afternoon, we can go like around the block and ride the bike a little bit. Or if I feel that little bit of energy, I do like to mix it up. I do not do the same thing every day. I get very bored. I'll go to a class where, it's more running and weights. Or if I just need a chill, like zenned out morning, I will literally work out in front of this desk. It's a tiny little space, and I'll do an online video, and I'm totally sweating, and it's like a gentle workout. And then sometimes if I get activated with the pain, I go to a stretching class. Like that has been the secret sauce in the past few months, because before I was like stretching, like I don't have time for that. I need to go on a,
yes.
A high powered whatever.
Yeah.
Like time is very valuable, people. I'm not going to spend it stretching. But because I was getting into such pain and activating at times, the stretching, I have more mobility in my arm and my shoulder. Like, when you're stretching out, like it's like you're so in touch with your body. It's like, I don't know. It's like your body, like a gentle hug. It's like everything it needs, like stretching it out. And I am not disciplined enough. Some people they're like,
what?
Morning
You are
night.
definitely disciplined.
No, I'm not disciplined to do it in my room. Like I have a foam roller, but my kids use it as a sword and like hit each other. I don't even know where it is. I was looking for it this morning. So I love to go to like a hot yoga class where, it's the music and like, it's
Love
just
it.
a stretching. I'm not even doing yoga. Honestly, it's restore.
Right. Restorative yoga. The first time we went, Ron, it was a moonlight restorative yoga. And
Ooh.
yeah, it was really neat. It was out on this lawn. And
It wasn't a good workout, but it was beautiful.
Oh, well, no, the guy comes out and they had the little guitar and it was so beautiful. And I'm like, oh, good. We're going to get a good workout. And he starts and he's like, reach out this arm for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, what? Kind of like you, Allie. I was like, I need the workout. What's going on? It was almost so uncomfortable to slow down that much, right? I guess that's the whole point of restorative yoga, just getting your body to get into that Zen state and really stretch those muscles. And now with so much sitting, right? Everybody's working from home. We all pretty much have desk jobs. It's like, oh my God, sitting is the new secondhand smoke, they say. So stretching, I love that you said that.
Or anybody has any pain issues, I just really encourage you to stretch. It really changes everything. Once I realized that, I was paying a fortune to go to a chiropractor, and basically he was stretching me.
Yeah, he's stretching. I know.
Like
you're driving an hour in traffic to see him and an hour back.
I was.
You 3 hours to do your half an hour stretch, right?
Yeah.
$200 later. Yeah. And those stretch labs.
Wow. Okay.
We live in California, people. We live in California.
It's expensive here.
It's expensive. But same thing with those stretch labs, right? It cracks me up because you are paying someone. It's good for people who aren't going to do the stretching themselves. It's better than not stretching, but you do kind of feel like that. Like, wait, I could do this myself effectively.
Yeah. And that's the thing. These are things that you can do for yourself. It's free. All the things we mentioned, you don't have to pay anything. You can do it for yourself. But the same thing going, what you're saying about like, you didn't want to do the stretch, like, give me the workout. Like, I need to do something. It's the same thing with the meditation. Like, I struggled with that mentally because I was like, that is 20 minutes where I should be doing this. And now I'm just sitting on the floor, like listening to like Gregorian chants. But the benefits that I see when I take that time, it doesn't have to be 20 minutes. It could be 5, 10. It changes the dynamic of my day. And
totally. I'm so glad you said that, Allie, because, when people start meditating, it is overwhelming. They're like, I don't know how to do it. How long? I don't have a whole hour. And we've had a lot of experts on talking about that. And they say the same thing, 5 minutes. Nobody has an excuse not to give 5 minutes to yourself. Because really it is a gift to yourself to meditate. Because I couldn't agree more. It sets the tone for your day. You won't get like a snappy if something goes wrong. You don't have that irritability. Isn't it weird how it stays with you all day? Yeah, I love that. Well, a lot of people are just going through the motions of life, afraid to make a splash or create a wave. They're not seeking joy and fulfilling their purpose. And I know you recommend something called a soul reshape in these instances. Can you tell us what that is and how decluttering is a part of that process?
Well, I will go back to what you said about that little whisper. It's when you're doing things and you're like, yes, like, why haven't I done this in so long? Like, that's it. That's that thing that gives you joy in your soul. Do more of that. That's the thing you need to do more of, whether it's gardening or planting or you have the music on when you're cooking or you're dancing or whatever it is. Like listen to that little bitty whisper and do more of that thing. I'm always looking for those things that fill up like my soul, not just give me joy, not just make me laugh, but like just give me such fulfillment.
Wow. And you have so many good techniques. I love all the tips you gave. I mean, whether it's taking just a 15-minute stroll around the block, it doesn't have to be running a marathon and training for the Boston Marathon, guys. I mean, this doesn't have to be, big, and tapping into those joyful things and not feeling guilty when you do, right?
Yeah, not feeling guilty what you do.
And declutter, right? So clutter is part of that because we want to cleanse our homes because clutter can make you feel guilty, right? It's that guilt.
I mean, I'm looking around my room and there's some clutter happening.
But you're hiding it well. It's hidden well.
Me too.
But it is that, like, I feel when I do a full clean out and literally go drawer by drawer, I feel like I can conquer the world.
Right.
The world.
Yeah.
And I was actually just thinking, I'm watching The Home Edit. I don't know if you're watching it. It's on Netflix right now.
No.
It's the new season of The Home Edit. It's these girls. They're out of Nashville and they are organizers and they are incredible. So I'm getting like the motivation.
I gotta watch this. Okay.
You gotta watch it. I mean, they do everybody. It's amazing. So I just feel like I know how I feel when I do it. It's just carving out that time and doing one little area at a time. Definitely. I mean, start with a drawer. Start with start with that junk drawer in the kitchen or something that's a little bit easier to tackle. And also, like, I feel like making spaces in your house, like my little meditation space is a little bit like that. That's why I have it in a corner. I have it facing a window where I'm seeing green. I'm not seeing the clutter that's on that side. And I just have beautiful things around me in that space, like simple things. It just allows your mind to open up and then again, like take in all that positivity and good thoughts and be grateful and all that without all the distractions.
There's a famous quote, have nothing in your home that you don't deem to be useful or beautiful. And I think that's really true, right? If you go through and say, am I using it or does it make me happy? If not, boom, donate it.
Well, before we leave, I wanted to talk about your new book coming out in 2023. Yeah. Congratulations, by the way, on that.
Woohoo! Congratulations on that. That's exciting.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. It's a big deal.
Where can listeners pre-order that?
Well, you can pre-order it on the Reshape Live website. Obviously, we'll be posting on my social and Reshape Live social. It does come out March 2023. And again, the title that we talked about, make the cover. So your words might be the title.
I love that title.
I can see. And we'll talk about all those systems that, really going into depth.
Well, Allie, one of my favorite quotes is, the reason most people are not successful is not because they set their goals too high and miss them. It's because they set their goals too low and hit them. If you want to get tips on how to reach those goals and how to take these baby steps, visit Allie and learn more about her amazing website that offers events and product picks, health and wellness and fitness and beauty and lifestyle. And that's at Reshape Live. And I will put this in the show notes at ronalisa.com/podcast. Allie, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much. We learned a lot. I'm drinking a liter of water the next morning, right when I start my day.
I'm going for water tomorrow.
Chug it.
I have water. You have so much passion and positivity to share with the world, and we thank you for using your platform to do just that.
Excellent. So stay tuned next week, friends, and get ready to up-level your health. See you then. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, Allie.
This episode of the Healthy Home Hacks podcast has ended, but be sure to subscribe for more healthy living strategies and tactics to help you create the healthy home you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best content. See you on the next episode.